try to be objective with all of my sports coverage, and listen, Jacy Sheldon objectively should be suspended for this play. I just don't know in what world, in what universe you watch that play back and you go, that was a basketball play. She was trying to make a basketball move, especially with all the angles.
The voices are growing louder. Frustration is boiling over. Fans across the basketball world are demanding accountability after Jacy Sheldon's reckless hit on Caitlin Clark, a move many are calling dangerous, dirty, and career-threatening. The WNBA community isn't staying quiet. They want consequences, real ones, and they're calling for Sheldon to face serious financial penalties for putting the league's biggest star at risk.
Clearly targeting Caitlin Clark most of this game, and that is, that comes from a function of, she guarded her in one-on-one situations a lot up the court, and then rolled into a lot of doubles in the half court, but there was talking and chirping all game, and for me, it was punctuated by Caitlin Clark's final play before she came out of the game, where she stares Jacy Sheldon down, essentially demonstrates, she's like, if you poke me in my eye, I will shoot it in yours. And she crosses her, finds the favorite spot, free throw line extended from the logo area, big fuck you 3 to Jacy Sheldon, yells at the Connecticut bench, yells at the crowd. Her and Jacy Sheldon come back together. Caitlin fires up the audience, basically tells Jacy Sheldon, you are a bum.
The outrage is spreading fast across social media and sports forums, with fans demanding the WNBA hit Sheldon with a massive fine. If the league won't protect its biggest star through officiating, then the punishment needs to send a message. Make it hurt? Financially. So the next player thinks twice before targeting Clark.
Caitlin Clark takes the court. Her opponents act like they've been booked for a main event brawl. The WNBA is doing nothing about it. Opponents aren't playing ball. They're strategically ambushing her. They're trying to injure her. Opponents bring chaos. She brings composure. And what Sophie did last night is completely valid. The WNBA has to do something.
What should have been a routine Tuesday night game between the Indiana Fever and Connecticut Sun turned into yet another episode of Caitlin Clark being treated like a punching bag, while the WNBA looked the other way. But this time, the hit was so blatant, so reckless, that even casual fans couldn't ignore the intent behind Sheldon's actions.
Sheldon, there is a legitimate hatred there. If you guys have heard, this Ohio State team, this 2023 Ohio State team, hated that Iowa team. And this is Jacy Sheldon, who was Caitlin Clark's direct matchup in these games. Like I tweeted out, forget Angel, forget Dejanay. This is Caitlin Clark's one true right.
Jacy Sheldon deliberately poked Caitlin Clark in the eye during a defensive play, a move that could have caused serious, lasting damage to the league's most valuable player. What made it worse? The smug grin on Sheldon's face right after. Fans quickly called it what it was. Not a basketball play, but a calculated cheap shot against the very woman who's carried the WNBA back into relevance.
Funny thing about that whole Caitlin and Jacy situation last night is it's like on a if you know thing. These two have been running the friendly fade on the court for like the last 4 years. They played in college, had great battles, so I'm not surprised last night.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. What followed was just as disturbing. After the eye poke, Sheldon escalated, grabbing Clark's arm and digging her nails into her skin. Another foul, completely ignored by the refs. And before Clark could recover, Marina Mabry jumped in, shoving her to the ground from behind while she was still reeling from the initial hit.
But I'm just going to be me. I don't go in there trying to predetermine anything. I'm dialed in. I need to focus on hitting my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player, so it's all good.
The aftermath of Sheldon's attack lit a firestorm of fan outrage. Within hours, social media was flooded with demands for serious consequences, from heavy fines to season-long suspensions. The hashtag ban Jacy Sheldon began trending, while Caitlin Clark supporters swarmed Sheldon's Instagram with sharp criticism. Comments called her unprofessional, bitter, and even questioned whether she belongs in a professional league at all.
Behind or from the side, it's so obvious that she straight up leapt out towards Caitlyn and got her right in the eye. And the more I try and watch it back and you try to be objective, there is no world where this was a basketball play. And yes, she was playing tough defense on Caitlyn up until that point, but she leapt forward, and it's not like it's defensible where you can say she tried to get the ball, because her hand at that point was so far away from where the ball was. It's not like Caitlyn was dribbling the ball up near her face. How she was not ejected for this, I don't know. The broadcast was talking about it, and that's why Sophie Cunningham even had the opportunity to hard foul her at the end. I don't know what you do, but the
Even major media voices joined the outrage. On The Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon called out the WNBA directly. What is going on? Protect Caitlin Clark at all costs. Please, enough of this. When mainstream entertainment is weighing in, the issue has clearly gone beyond basketball. Barstool's Dave Portnoy didn't hold back either, calling the offenders jealous loser punks and suggesting they belong in a rec league where no one cares about you. This kind of attention is exactly what the WNBA dreads. National headlines exposing their failure to protect their biggest star.
He thought they meant the WNBA. What is going on? Protect Caitlin Clark at all costs, please. Enough of this. Please.
To understand why fans are demanding serious consequences for Sheldon, you have to grasp just how much value Caitlin Clark brings to the WNBA. The numbers don't lie. According to Dr. Ryan Brewer, a finance professor at Indiana University Columbus, Clark was responsible for an astounding 26.5% of all WNBA economic activity during her rookie season. That's over a quarter of the league's financial output, from a player earning just $76,535. And it doesn't stop there. Brewer projects Clark could generate nearly $1 billion in total economic impact for the WNBA in 2025. That's billion with a B, a figure that eclipses anything the league has ever seen. When one player carries that much weight, letting her be repeatedly targeted isn't just irresponsible. It's a financial disaster waiting to happen.
Bring Caitlin Clark to the NBA right now, because the refs ain't gonna protect her. She only got one teammate, and that's her, who gonna do something about it. Like, yo, yesterday, that's malice in the palace activity. Call for it. That y'all should have been throwing hands all over the place. How do you get poked in the eye, then get thrown to the ground, and then you receive a technical foul? And don't none of your teammates want to step up, fight, squabble, none of that. They just looking like, yo, it's been, we know that y'all been targeting Caitlin Clark now. Now, I'm even watching, I'm like, hold on, what? Like, how are y'all letting this happen? How are y'all not protecting this girl? Now, she clearly is a superstar, right? But there's plenty superstars in the WNBA, and don't none of them get treated the way Caitlin Clark get treated. Now, y'all gonna mess up and ruin the whole numbers, your ratings, your all that, if y'all don't have Caitlin Clark in y'all's league. So y'all better start acting right. I'm telling you.
The WNBA's response has fans outraged. Sheldon got a $2,000 fine, Mabry just $400. But Sophie Cunningham, who defended Clark, was fined even more. The message? Hurt Clark, pay pocket change. Defend her, get punished. Fans are pushing back fast. Petitions and campaigns are demanding real fines, in the tens of thousands, and some want part of that money to go to Clark herself. They're done watching the league fail its biggest star.
This has been a very contentious 12 hours since the game. A lot of people on ESPN saying ridiculous things, like Monica McNutt saying she had no problem with Marina Mabry's foul. And I look at that in comparison to the Sophie Cunningham foul, which I have seen people say has no place in the league, unsportsmanlike, when that actually is a lot more sportsmanlike than the Marina Mabry one. Marina Mabry was completely disconnected from the play, had nothing to do with it. There was no play even going on when Marina Mabry.
Caitlin Clark is a once-in-a-generation talent. She was massively successful in college, and that's transcended into the WNBA, where she's leaps and bounds above pretty much most every player there. You're allowing her to get beaten up on the regular during games, flagrant fouls, people trying to take her eye out. That's happened a couple different times last year and this year. And you're not protecting